It is AfroEconomics Live, Financial Markets 2022. Wow, it's time. Time is flying. I can't believe it. Woo! How many more weeks do we have? Not many. Let's get excited about getting that knowledge on. Tonight we gotta wake up. Look at these financial markets. If you thought you were tired, you gotta change your thoughts. Time to wake up. Good evening, right back at you. New Black World Order. That's right. Thank you for sharing your evening with us. It's time. I got some great info for you. It's time to get enthusiastic. I'm so tired of everybody being tired. I see so many people on social media talking about taking a break. Too much break. It's time to get up, get going, apply more pressure, find out everything. We gotta know, question more, ask more, find out more, get all the details. There's so much stuff that we need to know about. It's amazing. I could just prepare for this time on and on and on and on. There's just so much stuff I want to tell you. We don't even have enough time to talk about it. That's why I think it's very important that you have an AfroEconomics membership. And allow me to introduce myself. I'm JB Bryan, President and Chief Investment Officer of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm and the home of AfroEconomics. And AfroEconomics is based on 10 principles, and I organized them in the book. And in the book, I have a workbook to go along with it and an Audible book. And one sister just purchased the Audible in the bookstore, and I sent her the money back because the Audible book is actually in Audible now. And I sent it back so that you wouldn't have to pay that original price. It's less expensive in Audible. And I tried to call you, but your voicemail never picked up. So I was like, let me just go ahead and send you the money back and put it in the message. So I hope that you got the message that send that there and then purchase it, because it's all about that money. I want you to have that money so that you can invest it. I want you to have it via Audible in the most cost-effective way. And I love the way that they do it because they're able to do it and you can download it easily. I have to do it, and then you have to do it with each of the different MP3s, and you're able to do it a lot easier using their files. So that's what they do. So once I was able to get it on Audible, I was really excited. So I was like, I need to take that out of my bookstore. So thank you for purchasing it, because it brought that to my attention that it's still in the bookstore, but it's in Audible now. So if you purchase it in the bookstore, I'm going to reimburse you too. But the books in the bookstore, that's the best way to get it, because you save money in the bookstore getting it through my bookstore, because I do the free shipping. if you purchase it somewhere else, then you're gonna have to pay for whatever shipping they charge you. So, and then I saw some people buy it from other bookstores that charge more than I charge for the book. I was like, that was weird to go online and see your book being sold for more than the book is from me. Don't do it. So the get the book from the author. That's great. But the when you join AfroEconomics, you get the book. So that's a great way to get the book as well. So any members out there who are members and you for some reason don't have the book, make sure you let me know. You need to have the book because one day you might have a quiz. I might give you a quiz on the book and ask you what's the fifth principle, and you need to know. You might have a quiz and you need to know. So let's look. Oh, I'm going to also. I need to pull up. How are you doing? How are you doing, Miss Davis? Hi, right back at you. Good evening to you as well. I appreciate you. I'm gonna put the chat up like the I'm gonna leave it like that till the till I have to. I'm gonna try not to ignore the chat, but if I start feeling like that, I'll put it up there, share it in my face. So let's look at. I want to like do just a market just a summary, just a summary of just thinking about the stock market of 2022, markets in general. I want to talk about something that I really hadn't talked about before, and but I think it is definitely worth talking about because there was a lot of discussion, and I'm so glad that I never bought into it. And in previous years, I will always hear people talk about, the dollar, in negative terms. And amazingly, the dollar has been doing so well this year. And the I think that it hasn't really been brought to the average person's attention how well the U.S. dollar has been doing relative to foreign currencies, other currencies, and I think that a lot of times that I'll see, especially in our community, we'll have like this discussions like that are telling us like, we need to buy some, unknown currency because the United States dollar, like, and I always see them approaching, our community because, they'll give us some, crazy story about because, the United States dollar is going to go under and you're not going to, the United States government is going to, there's just some bad story. And unfortunately, it seems like we're more likely to fall for it. It's not like we'll say, well, you know what, let me talk to my financial advisor about that or something. You'll kind of come at me from an approach of that was the truth. No, and the person won't have like any type of financial background. They won't have any type of license or any type of financial experience or been in the business at all like me. But will tend to participate in it and fall for it. And I don't know if that's because we I don't know. When it's something that we need to pray about. Like is it somehow in our subconscious mind that we don't trust a country that we actually built? That where many of us have been, our families have been here since the beginning. And I know my family goes back many, generations. I know that I could say that, my family is North Carolina farmers. I know we built it. I know we built this country. So I know, I know that America owes a lot to my family. So when I know that I don't feel that I'm taking anything from this country, because I know that I know that my ancestors built it. And a lot of their work was slave labor. And so that I don't feel like, I don't want its demise. And when I see like things that I feel that we should be excited when we're in this country and something good happens and we're able to participate in it and it benefits us. Like you've worked 30, 40 years and you're getting Social Security, because for a long time, Black people and people in the service industry were neglected Social Security. That they were like people in maid jobs weren't given Social Security. So they had to fight to get included on Social Security. So now we have these things and we fought for these things. And so now we're getting an 8.7% increase on that payment next year. And, that's because we earned it. And we should be fully participating in this country and getting a better understanding of what is owed to you. And a lot of times, because we have this commitment of staying out on the edges, we don't know how to make sure that we're properly taken care of. So what I mean is that we're paying too much in taxes, for example. I believe that our community, because of the lack of understanding of the IRS laws, because of not getting into organizations like AfroEconomics, and we're not doing our tax returns, then when we do the tax return, we're paying the penalties and the lack of doing the return at all, or doing the return but paying somebody for it because you never ever thought about learning how to do it at all. And you could have learned to do it because you just have this simple return. Or the person that you did get to do it did it incorrectly, or didn't even send it in, or you didn't get a good referral on who to do it. Like clients who are like, yes, JB, I know I should, but I don't want to. I respect that. But you have to at least, make sure that you're doing the proper things to protect your financial position. And by fully participating, then you can get in Social Security so that you can actually have that income upon your retirement and have the protection that you deserve. And you would be amazed at how many people who don't have any Social Security protection because they haven't it hasn't been explained to them how simple it is for them to do it. even on their own, or how to do, or how these things are available for them to get the information, or how they can get, the benefits, and at what age, and when to get it, and when to sign up. So, these, that is like on a side note, as we come to the end of the year, on that checklist, we have to think about what are the things that are coming to an end, or are happening for you this year. For example, required minimum distributions, or for people turning 72 and they have to take money out of an individual retirement account, or people turning 65 and they have to get in the Medicare program, or people who haven't done their 2022 or 2021 tax return. We want to make sure that we do that, right, Queen Howard? We want to make sure that we do our tax return for last year, because I don't want to go into 2023 with the 2021 stacking on top of it. We want to get that the 2021 out of the way. It's November. You still can get it done. You still can get it done. I know, but that is extension, and it was due in October. And I should have, yes, shoulda, woulda, coulda. But today is what we get. This is it. Today is the day. It's not that big a deal unless you make it a big deal. The interest, so employment is looking better for the U.S. Interest rates are up. People that have adjustable interest rates, people that have credit cards have adjustable interest rates. People that have lines of credit have adjustable interest rates. People have adjustable interest rates and they don't even know they have adjustable interest rates. People, some people have adjustable interest rates on their home mortgage and they don't know that they have adjustable interest rates. So they get a letter and it says your mortgage is going to be this amount next month or next year. Your taxes are always adjustable. The county has that ability. Think about what do you do to protect yourself from things that are increasing when your income may be fixed. If your income is a fixed amount, but the bills are an increasing amount, how do you protect yourself, right? What do you do? What do you do? You control your priorities. You control the priorities. You control what you can control, Ms. Miles. There are certain things that are at your discretion, and then there's things that are priorities. And the things that are priorities have to be at the top of the list, and they have to be taken care of by your fixed income. That's the things, like you don't let anybody else, nothing else decides like what's important to you. Nobody else decides what's important to you. You can't, you don't decide. Nobody decides like, what's important. And what's I get like interesting calls sometimes. This lady called me and she said, I'm gonna take my she said I owe something on a credit card and I'm gonna pay that credit card off. And the only savings I have in my whole life is the same amount of money as what I owe on my credit card. And she said, I'm a good person and I'm going to take that money from my savings and I'm going to send that to that credit card. and and she said, what, JB? What? And this was just like a complimentary call. I don't even know how we got on the phone with her. It was just the grace of God. Like, God, whoever, like somehow, sometime, I'm just supposed to be talking to somebody. This, me and her were supposed to be on the phone. And I laughed and she was like, what? And I was like, so, you're going to take your last dime and send it to this company. You're telling me this is the only money you have, like, and you're gonna send it to that company. That company, not for where you live, not for food, not for housing, but for a credit card. A credit card, sis. A credit card. I said, you realize, like, they can't kill you, they can't lock you up. There's no collateral. They're not even going to come to your house and take the shoes, which would be great. Would it be something they start coming to people's houses and come and get them when they don't pay that credit card? They just like come lock you up. You ain't pay your shoe bill. You ain't pay Macy's. We gonna lock you up. I bet people would stop going up in Macy's. They feel like. They were like, they have like a whole part of the jail for retail. They got retail lockup. That would be funny. They're like, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. But since they don't have retail lockup, you don't have to spend your last dime on a credit card. I was like, you have got to have some emergency money because she was out of work, especially since she was out of work due to a disability. Not just any disability, like a major disability. She really could not work. I was like, I don't feel comfortable with you doing that. I don't feel good. I mean, I understand that you're a nice person and I know that you want to give that to them, but I don't feel comfortable with you doing that until you get your disability and everything out straight and you know how you're going to eat and you're going to live and you get your health insurance straight, because she didn't even have any health insurance. I was like, this is pretty extreme. Yeah, Miss Davis, right? It's like, what? But like sometimes like you just like sometimes you just need to talk it over. But I bet she had talked it over and everybody she knew said, yeah, girl, send them that money. And what makes it even worse is that she was going to take it out of a retirement account, pay taxes, and because she was so young, she was going to pay tax penalties on it. And it was coming from an employer account that was going to automatically withhold penalties, taxes on it. And she hadn't been approved for disability yet. So she wasn't good. She was going to have penalties. Now, if she was already disabled, then and I was trying to explain all that to her, but she was like, it was like, blah, 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 blah. But when you're disabled, that pre-59 and a half penalty goes away. But if you take it before you're determined as disabled, you're going to be hit with that penalty. And a lot of times, people don't have any other way to eat when they're waiting for the disability to get approved. And it's really sad. It's really sad. Like, and I don't know how that, maybe because you know how they can backdate the disability check, you probably could do an amendment if you get the penalty and go back and get the IRS to give you the penalty money back. But the person would have to be listening to this and have a good tax preparer that cared and that would do the amendment and all of that. And I've run into that type of situation where the person actually was disabled. The person did their taxes wrong. I told them to correct it because I saw the huge penalty on there. And I was like, you're disabled. You're not supposed to have this penalty. And the tax preparer said, go away. I'm not going to do the amendment. So we had to go pay somebody else to do the amendment, even though it was their error. But it was such a big error that it was worth it for him to pay for the amendment. That's outrageous, isn't it? And I didn't make any income discovering the error or doing the amendment. I don't do either one. But God is good. God is good because my ship is coming in. I'm telling y'all, it's coming. So these are things that to think about as the year end is coming. Like, were you disabled? Did you become disabled? Did you have any tax changes that happened? Are there any things that need to be recognized on your tax return? Start getting all your tax paperwork together. Are you properly hydrated? Drink your water. I'm telling you, hydration is vital. After my last powerlifting competition, I got dehydrated for some reason. Because I had fish and I kept my fish in the refrigerator, I think, too long. And that's an ugly story, but it was a bad process on how I got dehydrated. But you got to rehydrate. Probably should have gone to the hospital, but I'm still here to talk about it. So employment numbers for the U.S. economy. Employment numbers are up, but wages, they say wages are up, but wages aren't up as much as the cost of things are up. So if wages are up like 5% from 5 years ago, but inflation is up like 20% on vegetables, but overall, like we know, at least 10%, then the wages being up for some people, but not for everybody. Some people are even making less than they were pre-COVID. Is everybody making more? Is everybody seeing more? I don't think so. It's a challenging time for a lot of people. Things have really, are up. The cost of things are higher, and I think that's a solution. If there is a solution, I feel that it is to just be mindful of how you're spending your money. Be mindful of how you spend your money and your time. And I think it's time to turn on discipline. And and go back to quality things. The quality of things. I think I've saved a lot of money by cooking more and I cook every day. In addition to saving my life and my health, I mean, it saved a lot of money. I used to order all the time, and all it did was, just bring up my weight. Like, oh, now that I cook all the time, all it did was bring down my weight and increase my health. So, and all that does is help us, right, Mr. Walton? Like, the more that you simplify your life, the more money that you will save. Now, when I don't want to say like simplify, like that means that you're not having fun. I don't think that is like not having fun. Like, but like someone was saying today that for Thanksgiving, the like one of these places is selling a fried turkey for $100 at one of these like I think they said like Popeye's fried turkey. Now, first of all, in my opinion, y'all know everybody gets mad at me every year when I say this. But what y'all know, I think that fried turkey is a ridiculous idea. This is a ridiculous idea. And everybody always says, oh, taste it, oh, taste it. It just tastes like, fried turkey. It's a ridiculous idea. And fried foods are carcinogenic, meaning they are known to increase your risk of cancer. Fried food increases your risk of cancer. So why would we do this? Why would we do this? Somebody need to make a comment. Why would we do it? Like, and then pay $100 for something that they like grabbed out of some pen of a pig pen of steroid fed crap and put it in some fryer of nastiness, and $100 when you could have had like probably 4 regular turkeys, and washed it yourself and at least known it was clean. Cornish hens, Lord, yes. Your own could have had for $100. You probably could have had like maybe 8 Cornish hens. Organic. I could probably get 4 organic turkeys for $100. And they're going to fry it and kill me. They're going to fry it and try to kill me. Increase my chances of me having, oh my God, I don't even want. Then everything associated with what we have to go through with having health challenges. And then we pay for this stuff, not to even go into like what we pay for for habits. We have to like stop buying and spending our money on things that are killing us. Spending money on stuff that's killing us, and especially the money that we spend on things that are killing our mind. I mean, look, like, oh my. I mean, and then think about all of the time some of our family members have spent on this crypto stuff that's falling apart in their face right now. I don't even understand what's going on. It sounds like freaking Chinese, like some of that stuff that they're like talking about. Like that these companies are just falling apart. They're just falling apart. Like, they're just, what in the world? What? And then they have absolutely nothing to do with my money. And if they start coming to my American money to try to deal with compensating some people that bought some of that stuff, then that's really illegal, because this is my US market and I did not support that. So I should not have to protect a crypto investor. My market is to protect people that invest in the United States economy. Everybody who invested in crypto was investing in the bet that this wouldn't work, that I wouldn't be here. That's what they were betting on. So I'm still here. We're still here. The dollar is up. So why in the world should my judicial system help them? Should my tax dollars help them get one dime? Get one dime. That's my dime. That's my dime. That's your dime. That's our dime. But we sit by and we watch it. We allow that to go down. When we got homeless people on the street, we got homeless people on the street who have no housing, but yet we're going to help these billionaires make sure they get some billions. But the little people who fell for that, who fell for it, ill-advised, who were thinking that somehow they were going to be able to get a part of something. We're supposed, no. Our tax dollars need to be going to help the man or woman on the street who needs housing this winter. Not that. That's ridiculous. We got all these tent cities all over the United States. These people with no housing, and we setting up bankruptcy courts for people who robbed people to make sure that they protect some of their assets. Do y'all understand what bankruptcy court is? It is their attempt to make sure that they keep something of theirs. Come on. No. We got us? No. But if we let it go down, then it's going to go down. But yet, these women and men who Congress stopped their $300 this year, who were getting $300 of their earned income tax credit in advance, they stopped that. But you can help these people do a bankruptcy. But you're going to stop $300 when it's proven that these kids are right now struggling to eat. We got to wake up. We got to wake up. Oh, this, So we need to get in tune with our political and regulatory system of how our tax dollars are spent as well. Who we're voting, and who we're voting for, and what they're doing once they get in there. And we're going to see a lot more regulation on things like that. Like definitely there's going to be a huge crackdown on those alternative forms of currency and asset forms. Because it doesn't matter until people start losing money. And then all of a sudden they want to pull on our system to protect them. I knew it was going to happen. I knew it. Exactly, Queen Howard. Corporate welfare all day long. And we let it go down. Like I said, all the time. There's a whole bunch more money that's given to people who write off interest on their home and use it on their tax return than is subsidized housing in the projects. But yet they act like people who get subsidized housing and some money for helping with their rent are doing something when you got people who are writing off the interest on the purchase of their home, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who is getting over? Who's getting over? But affordable housing is a problem. Billions of subsidized housing is done. And it's on the people who are writing off the interest on their house. But nobody sees it that way. Nobody sees it that way. But that's government subsidized. Yes. And in reality, I don't get it. Why in the world should you be able to write off interest on a home purchase? Somebody tell me that. Why? People don't get to write off their rent. Why in the world would people don't get to write off their car? But does anybody ever say, oh, that's capitalism? You writing off the interest on your house. Oh, that's so-and-so. Like, what? Why? What is that? What is that? Like, what? I don't get it. Like, why? I don't understand. Like, why is that? Why is that acceptable? But it is not fought against. And if it is changed, like the same people who like said, oh my goodness, these corporate people, blah, they are horrible. They are these corporate like executives, blah, 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 blah. The same people write off the interest on their house unapologetically. So Queen Howard, yeah, corporate welfare, but what about individual welfare? And then they'll go in like in one of my classes, there was a brother. I didn't know it was a brother till like late in the class. I said, what is wrong with this? Dude, I just knew, and it was a black man talking about people in the projects pulling down America. So I started addressing it like, what are you talking about? How is that when there's more money that isn't started addressing about that there's more money that actually America gives to people that actually are writing off mortgage interest? And then, he's all dumbfounded, but he just knew. I guess he didn't think anybody with that perspective would be in his PhD class. That's why God wants us places. But when I found out later when we had to do some videos that he was black, I was like blown away. And he was like, I grew up in the projects and I feel that we're supposed to not. And I'm thinking to myself, I did not grow up in the projects and I don't feel that way. Oh my goodness. How in the world? But sometimes people just grow and lose their mind. But he had just always been taught that if you get out of the projects, then you're not part of the problem. Like he had been taught that being in the projects, that is the problem. The projects is pulling down America. Like, he had just been programmed that way when he didn't realize the project is nothing. It's a smidgen of Americans' America's commitment? It's nothing. It is nothing. And it's reducing and getting smaller and smaller and smaller. We have no idea the reducing commitment that this country, under Democrats, has to affordable housing. The people we're voting for do not care about the people that look like them having anywhere to live. And we need training. So it's almost like knowing that, but then also knowing that the market, you know me, and this knowing and celebrating and seeing and then I just thank God for the clients that I have and you're the AfroEconomics members, that you all make it all worth it, because you allow me to say this with such freedom and comfort, and you accept it and you encourage it, and unapologetically you allow me to give my 100 to us. And that's a blessing. Yeah. Sometimes we all can just give, watch too much, that we think that because we could look, we can sit there and look, and I can look at the market and, see, that Wall Street's doing well, and, the stocks might be up, and, everything that means everybody's doing well. No, it doesn't. Like a client asked me today, he said, all these tech companies are laying off people. And I said, tech companies allow everybody to lay off people. It's technology that allows us to lay off people. Before all this technology, I used to have a lot more hands-on employees to get what now can be done by contractors, not in my face. And the challenges, and that even my executive assistant is a quality decision, not a necessity. I have her because of my commitment to quality for my clients. But if I didn't have that commitment to how I want my clients to be treated, I wouldn't need it. That's why you see so many companies like push button here, push button there, because they're not about quality. They're about profits. And that's what technology is about. Earnings and profits. Earnings numbers came up. American economy is doing well. Company values are up about 10%. About overall for the S&P 500. That's a good thing. We got recession fears because the Federal Reserve keeps hitting those interest rates. And they said they're going to do it again before we finish this year. And that's helping the dollar. Dollar's doing better than it's done against relative to other countries. So that's, that has its pros and its cons. Pros and its cons. Pros and its cons. We could have a whole discussion one day on our one-on-one of what's good about the dollar being up and what's bad about the dollar being, up. But it depends on what you're doing and what you're trying to do. But it's but but overall it's positive. So somebody says, "Oh, the dollar's not gonna be worth nothing." You say, "Hey, well, dollar's doing better than it's done in a long time. Still standing. If you didn't have anything else but dollars, you'd be doing good." You know what they say, like just keeping your dollars under your mattress. I mean, I hate to admit it, but if a person just kept their money under their mattress, the last, I'm not even gonna say it, but woo, it wouldn't be a good idea. But just think about it, But their buying power, they would have to take all their dollars and put it out there and take it to the currency market, and so it only has value when they're doing it relative to another currency. So I'm saying that the value is up relative to trading it against the euro, trading it against the Japanese yen. You have to get out there and do it though. But as far as using it in the US, guess what? You put it under your mattress, and now you can't buy as much as you used to be able to buy with it because of what? Inflation. So for example, vegetables. You put $100 under your mattress, and you could buy $100 would get you 2 bushels of broccoli before, when you first put it under the mattress. And now, because vegetables cost so much more, you only get 1 bushel. But because so many asset classes are down, there's really nowhere else you could have run to. That's the sad thing. Bonds are down. Stocks have been down. So the mattress was there. No, but that inflation still hit it. What a story. But it's rare. It's rare that you get a time like this, I guess you could have put it in broccoli though. You could have put it in, if you had put it in broccoli, your broccoli would have been up 20%. How about that now? You had put it all in broccoli. Who would have thought? Maybe broccoli. That was broccoli. That broccoli could have been the one vegetable that was down. Because I tell you, I don't eat as much broccoli as I used to. I don't know what's y'all vegetable of choice, but mine has become spinach. I don't know, but y'all gotta get a favorite vegetable going into Thanksgiving, because mine is definitely. But my daughter and I could definitely do all turkey legs. We're a dark meat. We could skip the breast. We could get all turkey legs. If we could find just all turkey legs, we would be good. She said that the other day. She was like, "Mom, we could just get all turkey legs." I was shocked, because she used to be like, "It's got to be the whole turkey, or I'm not happy." But that's good. But the turkey legs, we have to check on that. You could have invested in turkey legs, but and in reality, that market, because of inflation, that would be the area. But for farmers, it's actually been more challenging. But the commodities market itself, no. has done a little better, but we just like trading places, right? We would have to really get into it. You'd have to really get into it. But that's an interesting thought, though. I thought when we think about it. But that's the kind of things I like to talk about during our one-on-one. And it's about getting yourself into a situation where you're having a discussion with someone that can give you some feedback. Don't just talk to, yes people or people that's selling you something all the time. What I like about AfroEconomics membership is it's not about a product. It's about a service. It's not product and about incentive. My incentive is not about a product. My incentive is about getting you to increase your return on what you're doing right now. Hopefully, at some point, your assets will come to me. But many times, it's about increasing your return at work. And there are ways, that you can, it depending on your age, some people do rollover, are in a position to do rollovers, and they need me to do a rollover. And then their membership is included because they become an asset-based account immediately. But for many people, they're not there yet. And that's why membership is about getting your assets built up. We got to do something. And I wanted to create something that doesn't exist. And I want to make sure that our community knows that advising does exist, but you do have to be a registered investment advisor to do that. That's why we don't have it, because there's not a lot. And I am the first to create a registered investment advisory firm for our community in this area. And I don't know any others that are doing what I'm doing for our community. But I'm praying that it's the beginning of something good, but may God's will be done. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Do the best that we can for as long as we can. So, but before let's do real quick. Let's think about some more, just some checklists, and we're gonna continue on our member meetings through the end of the year. I want to make sure that we do this too. Let's make sure that we just keep thinking about what do I need to do as I close out the year. So I want us to set goals, spend time with me, talk to me, make sure that we have an understanding of your current portfolio, and make sure that your asset allocation is in tune with your risk tolerance. Understand your tax situation. If you have a tax liability, let's set up a strategy of how we're going to make sure it gets knocked out. Charitable giving. I want to make sure you understand all of your options, especially like qualified charitable distributions, helping and introducing that to more and more clients. QCDs, make sure you ask me about that. A lot of you are setting up trusts. Many times they're unnecessary. Don't get excited about spending money. Ever. That's just a good philosophy. And then as you get to the end of the year, check out all of everything you have that involves a beneficiary. Make sure that you have everything updated. Look at your life insurance Look at your car insurance, look at your homeowner's insurance, get all of those policies, put them into your Secure Firm portal. If you're a member and you don't have your Secure Firm portal set up, get it set up. Talk to Chelsea or talk to me. We'll get that done. We'll get it set up. So and any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. And any questions before you go? Like Miss Davis just popped in there all late, out the gate. Oh, look, she tried to give me a compliment. Talking about my hair, trying to get on my good side. You know you late, out the gate. Look, and just trying to act like she can't hear.
The meeting is over.
Oh my God, you're late. You're late out the gate. But I love you anyway. Thank you. Just busting in there like you out of breath. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. You have good intention. Look at her. So sweet. Thank you. And thank you, Queen Howard. Y'all so sweet. Y'all, and we are going to stay strong. It's been a hard week for me, y'all. My I don't know if y'all know, but my alma mater is University of Virginia, and this week, we got hit pretty hard with those young men. There was a really bad incident, and it looks like it was a bus full of black students, and and I had a really positive experience at University of Virginia. And I thank God, for the opportunity that I had there. And I wish, I pray that somehow that they'll be able to recover those, the people that happened to, because everybody on that bus will never be the same. They saw those 3 young men get killed like that, and 2 were, I think 1 came home from the hospital, and 1 is still, that tried to save the other ones, is still in the hospital. But tomorrow's not promised, and but I'm just gonna every day continue to work for them. I do like I just when I was there, I just I had such a consciousness of the challenges of that we have, and they for them just the y'all know, but I'm just going to continue to pray, and I know that you all that I don't know, like it's just it's a lot, but our young men have and our just we just I just I just hope they know how much we love them. I hope they know how much that I love them, and the ones that have survived, and I'm gonna continue to work for you all, even no matter people never appreciate my commitment to us. We still got to do it. We still got to do it. We still got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it. They're not like our young people are like not just troubled these days. Like Ms. Mack was saying, are troubled these days, but I, I think our young people have been troubled always. And our old people are troubled. They're just a reflection of us. I look at my daughter and I just know, like, I know it. And that's what we really have to admit, that they are a reflection of us. Like the shooter, the more details that come out, the more we'll understand that the young people are a reflection of their life experience, the decisions that the adults make. That's why I say, like, we have to be disciplined and we have to show them how to be disciplined. Like, if we don't teach them an off button, if we don't teach them how to handle and manage stress and how to communicate with each other and how to love each other, and and we don't love on them, it starts at home. Is that, but the conditions have gotten worse in the past years, but the conditions at home have gotten worse over the past years. I think, like, don't you think, Ms. Davis, home life for young people has gotten worse?
It's gotten worse. We're too busy
Exactly.
working, doing other things, doing the things that we want to do, not the things sometimes that we should be doing. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I have a responsibility as an elder, and it doesn't matter if there's someone in my neighborhood who is not my child. She may be, the child I never had. However, when she is not doing, quote unquote, what I know is right, it's my responsibility, to call her out on it. The person I'm referring to. I refer to her as my mentee. Her mom was killed. She didn't know her mom. She lives with her grandmother, and her mom was killed when she was 4 years old. They brought her mom home in a body bag. So being 4 years old, you see that come in back at that time. For them to identify who this person is. Her mom was out in the street. She never would, make any changes. I feel a certain responsibility as an elder to her to say, and I know you didn't ask me all of this, but case in point, she puts her daughter on the bus this morning, and another kid pushed the daughter to keep her from getting on the bus at the time that she was getting on the bus. So they were in a little, 6-year-old kind of tussle. I said to her, okay, it's not the bus driver's responsibility. It is your responsibility to go and talk to her mother. This is what you need to do. And I need for you to go speak to her, and speak to her in a very nice and easy tone, okay? Because this person, my mentee, and I'll just say her name. Her name is Lexus. I'm like, Lexus, I don't need for you to go over there and be explosive. Okay, you go and you talk to her and tell her what her daughter has done to your daughter. Straighten it out from there. The bus driver has enough to do. She's responsible for a busload of children. She doesn't need to carry that around, plus the responsibilities that she's already, taken up on. You do that, and I need for you to do it in this way. She always tells me, Miss Rita, you got a way of calming me down. I think sometimes when she's explosive, she makes sure I'm somewhere in earshot so I can come and wrap around her. That's my responsibility. That's one of my purposes. I don't know if I got another one, but this one, I'm going to see it through the bitter end. So, you know, there's enough love in my heart for me to share outside of the parameters of where I stand. And again, that's what I feel responsible for. I'm going to take responsibility for it.
Mute yours. It sounds a lot better when I mute. I muted when so you can talk. It sounds a lot better when I mute. It sounds great because I can hear you better. Now I know the key. But you're right. Only thing I'm concerned about is the other mother. In that situation, is better to go to the school, um, and the school will bring the other mother in. But I know you're right. But if the other mother is crazy, then she'll escalate it. But but it's better for her to go to the school, and then the principal bring them both in to talk about it. But like you said, they're both so busy that that's why the they can't be there, because in the stay-at-home mom school district they sit, they're sitting there and watching them get on the bus, and it wouldn't have happened. you know, in this school district, they're leaving them at the corner and they 5 and 6 years old and the mom is gone. That to me is way too young. They shouldn't be standing there on the corner by themselves in elementary school, but that's sad. How you doing, Miss Ashton? I did, but it's, how you doing, beautiful Miss Ashton? That's way too many books in the back of that room. That is crazy. I but we were just talking about the University of Virginia and the things of home life changing for young people. I was saying that home life, like I feel that my daughter having to grow up with me and my husband left when she was 4 weeks old became not rare, and it broke my heart when that happened. Like, it was devastating. And everybody that I would talk to, I just started kind of running to people like, my husband left. And every woman that I would talk to, it was like, so what? That's what they all do. What are you talking about? That's what they all do. And it was like, it was really devastating that so many people had gone through the same thing. Like, it was, I never imagined that's what happens, that people were raising, so many people were raising their children by themselves, and then that's what's happening. And it's a totally different life experience, and for many young people it's not at 4 weeks, it's maybe at 10 or 9 or 8, and sometimes that could be worse, and it could be a lot of conflict there. Mm-hmm. And you don't know how they respond emotionally to it, and every parent is not at the same level economically. I always tell my daughter that, thank God, like, I was able to hire a nanny. Like, our experience was rare. It was really rare. And that things didn't change for us. But they did, but they didn't. But it totally opened my eyes of, what if I were not in this position? How much my life would have fallen apart. What if I wasn't 34? I was 34 when that happened. What if I had been 24? what if I, that it would, everything would have been different. There'd be no JB Bryan. So there's, these young people are, my daughter went through things I never had to go through I never had a day in my life without my father being in my house. I can't imagine that. So I don't think the kids have changed. I think we've changed. I just think that we blame it. I just think that too much gets blamed on them and we're not being accountable. Nobody's holding the parents accountable. Like I was reading by mistake a study because I was reading the wrong article in one of my classes, and it was reading about gang violence. And it was saying that gang violence starts in the home. And it was researching that verbal violence, violent language against young people was causing gang violence. They had connected it that the households where the child was getting verbal abuse, that was the child that was more likely to go and join a gang and be violent. Verbal. If they were using aggressive, that was the word, aggressive language in the household. Verbal aggressive language. They go, shut up, boy, sit down, whatever, they're deemed aggressive, and we're not thinking that we're, and then then the parent will say, I don't understand, I don't know why he joined that gang. And he said, that because he's in response to that, that's how he acts out. That was amazing to me. So I think, that it's got to be from the top down. It's got to be from the top down. So that's why I said that I'm going to commit the rest of my life to doing better. I got to do better. I got to do more. I have to listen more. I got to be more accountable. I can do better. Everything I do, I want to do better. I think we're just too lazy. We're too lack of discipline. We're too. We got to be more accountable. We gotta read more. We gotta read more books and put down the beers, put down the alcohol, put down the weed, put down the, put down exactly, but put it down. They don't need to see it, but they don't need to see it. There's people they'll have parties for there'll be a 1-year-old having a party, and the parents are around drinking. Tell the truth, y'all seen that? Why are we having a 1-year-old, a party for a 1-year-old, and y'all turn it into a card game and alcohol and weed?
Okay, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You got adult parties and then you have kid parties. We gotta have in our community, unfortunately, bringing that together That's so inconsiderate. That's so inconsiderate to the young people. And even though the state of Virginia said that you can smoke in the house, if you have minors who cannot smoke, then you don't smoke in your house. Well, it's my house. Well, get out. They should be able to call the police. I know this little girl, she was in the foster care system, and I met her because I met the family that adopted her, that brought her in, and she reported her mother for selling drugs, and her mother got mad at her for selling drugs, for her reporting her, and her whole family ostracized her, didn't want anything to do with her for the rest of her life. And she was about 13, 14. Nothing to do with her. And then the lady who brought her in as a foster child started using her as an indentured servant. So she said, I don't understand how that girl's so ungrateful. And I said, you had her working for you on Christmas Eve with your boyfriend. And she said, well, I won't tell you anything anymore. I said, well, no, what I'm doing is being honest with you. Don't tell me, don't ask me why is she ungrateful? And you know what I mean? And ask me, why is she ungrateful when I'm telling you the girl is just human. She wants the same thing anybody else. Just because she's in the foster system doesn't mean she doesn't have feelings. She don't be working with your boyfriend on Christmas Eve. She's no indentured servant. She's a little kid. So she got her family. And then a couple of years later, God have mercy, I had to talk to this toxic person. And she tells me, guess who I saw? Guess who I saw? I said, who? She said, she saw the girl. I saw the girl. She's working in Walmart. And she laughed. She's pregnant. Isn't that sick? The kids aren't the problem. She's laughing because she's pregnant. The girl's still looking for love. The little girl's looking for love. Dear God, I hope she found it. That's sad. That's a sad story, isn't it? That's so true, too. I never talk to that person. And the person, like, she doesn't think she did anything wrong. This is the state of adults. Am I wrong to think she's wrong? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jefferson. Well, I'm glad you made it in. He said he had an HOA meeting. We're just talking about adults not adulting. But Jewel, thank you, Queen Howard. Like, I think that I think that it's sad how many times I have been rejected for asking adults to be responsible and to be adults. Like, with their, with around young people, around kids, like, or just with each other, it's sad. But I think the important thing is that you have to still unapologetically do it. Like I remember a client who she transferred all her assets over to her granddaughter, and then the granddaughter started being abusive to her emotionally and bringing a man into the house. And she never did that before. And the client was terrified with the man being in the house. And then, so because the client was terrified with the man in the house, so then her granddaughter moved out. Now, mind you, the granddaughter was like older than me. Like, so the client was like almost 90. And the granddaughter at that time was like almost 50, So she's like, client's terrified. So I called the granddaughter at work, and I didn't feel comfortable, but I was so young at that time, I couldn't. Now I would say, like, don't do it. We'll find another way. But I was so young, I was like, okay, I'm gonna let her do what she's doing. But I just didn't, it didn't feel good. And then she told me, grandmother, just is so. Grandmother just gets on my nerves. Grandmother, but this grandmother had taken her in when her parents didn't have want nothing to do with her. And now everything, that woman died in that house by herself. That was ridiculous. I don't even understand, like, why can't you just, how you can just bring them in? She ain't have to know. Y'all ain't have to be like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? This house, this woman's all the way up on the top of the house. She did not need to know anybody was coming in down there. Y'all had to go through a lot of effort to make sure she knew he was coming in that house. And it's just rude. She just didn't want to be there. So, I know. Ms. How you doing, beautiful Vicky? Vicky says she is a foster parent. She would never do that. Thank God. I know, it's just a lot of people just money. It's just the money. So I don't think the kids, like, I really feel that kids are the same. Kids are the same. Like, because God gives us, like, kids. Kids come here brand new. Kids come here, like, brand new. Like, kids can't be different because they don't know anything when they get here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just come, like, they come here empty. Like, they're just, so they're vulnerable. We are what? Like, we're it. We're it. And like, we can protect them. We can take time. We can, love, like, and they can act up like later, but it can, but a lot of it, I would say a lot of it, we have a lot to do with it. I'm gonna take ownership of it. I'm gonna take ownership of it because the word speaks of that. Like, bring them up in the way that they should go. If it didn't say that, if God didn't give me responsibility for it, then I wouldn't take it. But if He gave me that, he gave me that, then I gotta take it. And He said that I have to do that. I gotta do that. Then I gotta do it. Then He said that we have to bring them up in the way that they should go. Then that's what you know what I mean? We have to show them how to act. But we're not taking the time. If we're not taking the time to show them how that they should carry it, they don't know what to do. But what do you think, Ms. Ashton, before we go?
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I think it's a twofold thing. I think we as parents, we haven't instilled enough of respect and responsibility in our children at a younger age. So by the time they're in school, we're competing with what they are learning in school, but they really don't have the foundation of home to bounce it off on. And we as parents have not taken the time to filter out some of the things that we hear them say that we know it's wrong, but in our own busy sphere, we say, well, I'll deal with that later, and then that compounds. So I think it's a twofold thing. I think some of the problem is children having children, and no one has raised their children. So when we get to the age where we are now as senior citizens and we're looking at, the default that has been there, and we may have added to that by not speaking up, which is why now we're afraid to correct kids in the mall. We see someone in the mall, we know they're doing wrong, but we won't walk up to them and say, you know better than this, blah, blah, blah. But in my youth, whether the person knew me or not, if they saw I was doing something wrong, they would walk up to me, and they knew they would be okay because they were an adult who, I had respect for whether I knew them or not. And so that's part of the problem. Children and young adults have no respect going outside of their home, even though they may know their grandmother, in the house. But what is outside is a part of the open community. They may not, show the same respect, but that's out.
Amen.
I think that,
Amen.
there's just so much work to be done, and we really have to start at ground zero.
And then the people that they're around.
Exactly.
That they're around, like, because it's really hard. Like I was telling my daughter, like, because it's hard for me to have people, like, a lot of people don't want to be around me. Like, I don't get invited to stuff. So, and a lot of it is because I don't drink or smoke. I don't do a lot of things that people do. So, once they figure out that you don't do those things, you really don't get a lot of invitations to, like, fun things, because they know in their opinion, you're not a really fun person. So, like, that does, like, hurt when you're a young person. And I've always been like this. So even at University of Virginia, I was like this. I never drank, never smoked. Like, so even there, I wasn't invited to a lot. Never got asked to be in a sorority or anything. Like, so I think that when you decide to live like a certain way, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. Like, and I think that most people make certain decisions because of social decisions. I think that a lot of people wouldn't have done that. Like, they wouldn't be that way. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of kids, you know what I mean? Like say at University of Virginia, whatever, like they wouldn't be like that. But if you wanted to have a good time, you had to do that. Like, you had to be that way. Like, the people that were really having a good time were really having, were really doing a lot of stuff. Like, and they got invited to a lot of stuff. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? They were like always like, and I was sitting in there studying and, stuff. So and I don't know if that had anything to do with my parents, like, but I guess it did, because my mom never let me go out, like, you know what I mean, like that in high school. So I guess it never became like a necessity to party. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But at the same time, some people say they partied because their parents never let them party. You know what I mean? So, do you remember that girl that said she went to Hampton or one of the colleges? Remember, she said she hooked up with the drug dealer because she said her parents were too disciplined? I never could relate to that because her parents let her do more than I did. Like, so I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't, I couldn't relate to that. I think it's really a matter of choice. It really is a choice. It was a conscious choice because my mother drank. She, like I made that choice. So at the same time, it's like at some, it's like how do you get that child to make a choice? To that they're gonna be that fighter, that worker, like that, that they're gonna, stay up all night and do that study, fight to get into business school, do that. Like, I got that at UVA. I mean, like I would get my grind on and work 2-3 jobs. And students had cars and I had no car. I get on the bus. I never complain. I didn't ask my parents for no money.
Well, I think part of that is the change in the times and the money that families have now. That when I went to college, I had none of those things. I had no disposable income. But children go to school now with a different mindset. And my age is 900 years old. But in my, you went to school for a purpose. Your purpose was to do better and to share whatever you could with your siblings to pull them up. But kids now, they do not go to school with a responsibility attached to them.
Yep.
And they're not doing with the same clear purpose in mind.
They go to party.
Right. And so my day, I think my parents probably studied the college environment more than I did. So, could I adjust going to a large university? Should I go to a small college? We don't do that now. We don't put that sweat equity in it as much as we ought to make sure that we're putting our children in an environment that's conducive to their educational growth, as opposed to I want them to go to the school because of. We don't even look at the legacy anymore. If we did, our HBCUs wouldn't all be dropped off the radar. So, there's a whole plethora of things as to when your child leaves your house in August and what she has decided to do by December. Because maybe we haven't, we are not that hands-on that our parents may have been. And they don't have old moms anymore. Like my parents knew the poor mom, she knows she's supposed to be in at a certain time. You let me know. We don't have that communication with people who have full control of our children anymore. They don't have to share stuff with us anymore. The kid doesn't want us to have their grades. We don't get their grades, So there are a lot of reasons why so many parents are facing the heartache and just the hurt from something that happened this week because of we're brushing our kids off. Even the parent who of the young man said, well, I told him just hang in there. Have a deeper conversation. If your child felt the need to have a gun, there is something drastically wrong. And so maybe we're not talking, and as you said, we're not listening enough. Because if we know our children, then sometimes just listening to them on the phone will give us a hint. Maybe we need to make the drive down to wherever, and have a sit down face to face. So I don't know. There are just a lot of things, and a lot of what we come up with is always hindsight. You know, we are that reactionary people.
That was blew my mind when he said that. That he said people, you know, that he felt picked on at that age, at 23. You know.
You don't get that from football stars that
I
much,
know. I know.
you know, because they're the tough and ready unless it's the other football players, you know. And if that's the case, you know, that opens up another conversation. But yeah, I feel for all those families. I know, you know, every one of those families are just having unimaginable hurt and question. And especially, you know, the young man who's here to talk, you know, now, but his life is totally wasted.
And it's unfair because he gets to talk.
Yeah, in a sense it is. But hopefully there's something teachable from this episode that, you know, that maybe if he has younger siblings, will benefit from something like this. You know, opening that challenge of talking to your child and knowing about the different, you know, things that they go through. And you're right, they go through things that we never had to think about. It never crossed our mind, you know, that we had to worry about our children having, you know, guns, killing someone. Who would think that your child would do that? No one. You know, and just how much, you know, stress must that person be under at that age to think, I don't care that I'm throwing my life away as long as I can take yours with me. So, you know, I think we need, as a collective community, we need to really look hard at what we're not giving our children and work at how best to interact with them so that they know there's absolutely nothing that they can't come back home and talk about. We don't have to agree, but we need to talk about it and put it out in the atmosphere that's so that it can be expected from all sides and come up with a solution that's workable, that doesn't take you away from this world.
I don't know. It would be, it would be okay if he took his own life, but since he decided not to, there's nothing he can say. That's just a killer. He's a killer.
It's a lost cause.
That's horrible. That's horrible and selfish. I don't.
But I always say that when our children were younger, whatever you do doesn't just impact you. Look at the
Amen.
number of people
Amen.
that have been impacted.
Oh my God! Everybody on that bus,
Mm-hmm.
even his. I mean, you know, but even his own, even his grandma, like you know, that I have to live. But the everybody on that bus will never be the same. I will never be the same. Everybody, and I'm far from it. You will never be the same.
This is true.
But I'm telling you that I hate to feel the way I feel about that, but that's uh, that's that's death penalty right there. That's
Yeah.
terrible, JB. That's just terrible, JB. I know. But That's bad. Like, I mean, an eye for an eye. If I could kill you 3 times, I would. Let the other one, if he dies, I'm gonna kill you 4 times. That's terrible. Why would you want to live after that? What could they do to you to make you want to kill somebody?
See, I think that's the thing. That's the missing piece to the puzzle. And had anyone known, the trauma that he was going through, could it have been diverted? I just don't know how you can do that. And then, I mean, if you got the nerve to stand up there and kill somebody, why run?
Right? That's what I'm saying. Oh my goodness. And then I think one of the people we hit was a girl.
According to what the news said, yeah.
Yeah, my daughter said, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. That's terrible. Dear God, forgive me if I'm wrong. May his God's will be done. But that there's nothing that he can say that they did that warrants death. Nothing. Like, I mean, what is that? Oh, they were picking on me. Oh, so and so. I mean, literally nothing. Nothing. They picked on me every day for 3 years. They told me I was nothing. They took my lunch money. Nothing. There's nothing. Even the most horrible thought, not even that, warrants death. You're still breathing. Fight it out like a man. Y'all are the best. I say, fight it. But, So Friday morning at 9 a.m., we'll have our members only. I appreciate you all. Ms. Davis, did you get to meet Ms. Ashton?
Hello.
Your microphone is so loud. I wish you could hear what it does when you turn it on. It goes like, boom.
Did the meeting start a little bit early? Is that what happened?
You can mute again. Love y'all.
Did the meeting start early?
Good night. Love y'all. Unconditionally. Take care. Just know I got y'all back. Take care.
You too.
9 a.m. Friday, our members only meeting. Noon, our business network. Sunday morning, Sunday at sunrise. Take care.
I am.
Praying for everybody. I'm sorry, Ms. Ashton. Father, God bless you. Thank you. Take care. Thank you.